obviously all of these practical things, the ability to invest month over month over month, to live on a budget week over week, across a year, across 5 years, 10 years, those habits will change your whole life.
Yeah.
But all of that starts with self-control. Welcome to Getting Money Right, a show dedicated to helping you achieve financial freedom through education and inspiration so that you can be free to pursue your true life's purpose. We are your hosts, David Thompson and Leo Sabo, and in today's episode, we are answering questions. I want to remind everybody we're answering questions and going through this great series on common questions because we are also working on the course, Getting Money Right, and building the Getting Money Right website. So be looking for those two things coming out soon. Get ready to be able to Google Getting Money Right and find the website. Right now, if you Google it, you'll get the podcast, you'll get leosabo.com and all the incredible tools and resources there. But Leo, we are answering questions. So what have we got on the docket today?
Yeah, so the question we have is, what is the most important financial advice you would give a person just starting out in their adult life? So somebody just kind of stepping out on their own, moving out on their own, starting their career, what would be the first or best financial advice we would give someone like that?
Yeah, well, for me, it would be more of a life lesson and a principle than a specific financial tactic, although I can definitely think of some financial tactics I would want to impart early on. But just from the principle side, it would be self-control. Self-control and contentment.
It's good.
Because if you are persuaded by every whim of your desires, if you are a ship that is easily tossed when the ocean's currents come, it's going to mess with your life. So being able to have self-control, choose a path and go down it consistently, put together a budget, and every day work on it. Or every week, maybe it's once a week, you put together a few hours or 1 hour a week and you sit down and you do your budget. You put your plan in place and then you execute it. You track your receipts. Obviously, all of these practical things, the ability to invest month over month over month, to live on a budget week over week, across a year, across 5 years, 10 years, those habits will change your whole life.
Yeah.
But all of that starts with self-control. And so if you can learn that discipline and say, I am going to choose to be intentional and self-controlled and content, because a part of self-control is contentment, and contentment comes from gratitude. So I guess I'm adding in a third principle here, and let's kind of walk it backwards. So first self-control, contentment, and then gratitude. But if you start with gratitude, start being thankful for where you are, what you have. I remember going to community college, and verbally, I wasn't always content. But internally, I knew that I was getting to do something fairly inexpensively because the state pays for most of the education when you go to community college.
Yeah.
Now I say the state, the taxpayers,
Right.
Through housing taxes here in Texas, pays for about 75% of the cost of community college. So when you go to community college, it's very inexpensive compared to other colleges.
That's right.
And I was grateful for that. Now, of course, I was at community college, and so my friends were at four-year universities, and verbally I complained and let people know, oh, I wish I was over here. I wish I did. So, yeah, I was a little immature verbally, but honestly, internally, I knew this was the best thing for me. And so I was content. I was grateful for the inexpensive education I was getting, knew that I was on a path that would pay off over the next 5 years, 10 years. That gratitude led to a contentment. That contentment allowed me to maintain control and maintain that path. And so I would start with gratitude, move into contentment, and then maintain self-control. And part of that self-control was just going to school every day, working. I think I worked 30 hours on average while I was at TCC in that community college. And so the self-control of going to school, I say every day, I think it was maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but going to school every day that I had school, going to work every day I had work, and then just working the plan slowly and methodically, that self-control dramatically paid off.
Yeah, I love what you just said, because it is about having intentionality in how you're going to pursue this. You are now an adult. You're the person that's responsible for their own life. And to a large degree, your attitude in that will determine your level of success. If you have a bad attitude or if you're always complaining, you're going to approach everything from the perspective of, I deserve more, and I need more, I want more. And that will impact you how you make financial decisions because you're in a state of dissatisfaction. So if you want something, impulse buying is going to be an easy thing to engage in to make yourself feel better. So I think attitude matters. What I would also add to what David said, and I agree with everything he said, is define your own standard of living. So I'm kind of saying the same thing he's saying, but slightly different in the sense of saying there's a lot of influence in the world from advertising, from different ways that want to push you in a certain direction, live a certain lifestyle, have what others have, and that puts you into a state where you're really not defining your wants and your needs. You're allowing other sources, other influences to guide that direction. And my advice would be to anyone that's starting out or a young adult that's thinking, how do I get a hold of this and create my own path, is define your own standard of living. And that's going to be based on how much money are you making. Learn to live with, as David said, with contentment on what you have today. That doesn't mean you settle. It just means that you are realistic about where you are starting out and then going from there and trying to improve yourself, whether it's through education, through job experience. So all of that's important. But I think creating your own standard of living helps you to be content and then helps you to manage your life because you know how much money's coming in, you know how you're spending it, you're intentional about it, and you can make those wise decisions for a long term. We hope that answer and that question both challenged you but also gave you some insight, and maybe if you have a young adult in your life that you would pass that on, share with them. Encourage them to set a standard of living and to live within their means and really be intentional about managing their money in a very specific way, because if not, it has consequences and has potential to lead them down the wrong path. So thank you again for joining us. We hope you'll join us next time so that together
we can keep getting money right.
And my advice would be to anyone that's starting out or a young adult that's thinking, how do I get a hold of this and create my own path, is define your own standard of living.